And thus we are back. I easily woke up to the sound of my alarm. Honestly, the hard sensation on my back made it nearly impossible to sleep. Even so, though I thought I'd wake up with the morning sun, it just didn't come here. The settlement was right between the two mountains, so of course it wouldn't get much sunlight. I was still sleepy, but this was the fated day. I drank down the rest of my bottle and got some calories out of some sweet bread. First, I had to take care of my wounds. Surrounded by dim light, I took my handkerchief on my right hand and treated the festering wound. I wanted to wash it off with Saranaga's water, but I felt like the hole in the middle of the cliff might not have been the only reason why the stream was considered corrupted. I washed it off with water from a new bottle instead, but then some more disinfectant and a fresh band-aid on it. Then I grabbed my friend, the headlamp, and checked whether the stopper, potential lifesaver, worked properly. That I was ready. Upon climbing up the hole, I went inside and turned on the lamp. Then I tried going up the slanted hill. After some distance, the hill started slanting down. It might have been done to prevent rainwater from flowing in. But the inside, it was like I expected. There was a pile of fist-sized stones. I had to remove them all. It had to be possible. It'd be done by human hands, after all, a whole 6 centuries ago. Though I would feel kind of bad about it. What I was about to do was basically tomb raiding. But then I had a thought. Someone who was about to kill a god had no business, but to make the job easier, I took out a small shovel from the stuff I brought. I brought a collapsible bucket too, but it didn't look like I could use it. After thinking for a bit, I took out all the waterproof inner bags, the backpack, and then transported the stones using the outer bags. After filling a bag with lots of rocks, I crawled outside and turned it upside down. This was effective and didn't put much strain on my hand. Though hard labor in a tight space certainly wasn't easy. The lack of sleep and fatigue were getting to me. I wasn't sure I was working fast enough. I wanted to go home after repeating this just 3 times. Even so, I do my best. I wanted to go back after all. Come on, ancient people. Just how much did you have to bury it under? I know it's to prevent a god from escaping, but can't you at least consider the archaeologists who look for it? Oh yeah, not likely. I began talking to myself more. Was it a sign of something dangerous, or was it a sign was I safe as long as I recognized it myself? It'd be bad if I started hearing the voice of God or Psycho Chimi. I considered singing something, but stopped. I almost began singing Prayer to Shinai that felt like a one-way trip to madness. Weird, I didn't know if it was because of what I was thinking, but I began hearing hallucinations. It was a crying girl.
戻り先は日曜の朝。メイコちゃんが迷ってくるところが新たなルーチンになっただけ。結局、糸口も見えなかった。
It came back to me, though. It wasn't like I'd completely forgotten it. It just slipped my mind. This was the morning when Meiko wandered in. What was I to do? She cried here. Someone heard her would come over surely. If that happened, they'd find my stuff and me as well. I looked like a weirdo doing weird things with a girl at my side at that. What was up with that role? Was I some sort of kidnapper to bury a child? I had to secure myself. Anyways, mission start. Hey, I call out to you, but what do I do now?
め
Local?
誰のものさん
There's something familiar. My name is Haruki
う
Fuyashi.
さ石
That's it. Haruki Fuyashi.
ふさゆき
Pasa... No.
ゆきさん
Fine, call me that. Where'd she get that U from anyways? Fusaki felt like some sort of message behind a mascot name. Are you hungry?
め
Eat my face.
め
Did that joke not work on modern children?
と食べないおいしくない
With my joke missing the mark so badly, I myself became flustered. Okay, then I have some food. Come here.
ふさゆきさんオオカミ
That reminded me that she was afraid of wolves that were completely unrelated to the ones in Fujiyoshi. Well, I wasn't one of those wolves either. But if I said I'd make things more complicated later. Not the wolf you're afraid of.
本当
Yeah, I'm a good wolf.
みはみはみはもいもいもいはは
Hey, what happens when you don't eat properly? Eat slower. Wipe yourself.
それ
Is that me? Oh yeah, sorry, what's your name?
わからない
Oh yeah, she didn't know her name. Or where she lived. So you're a lost cat, huh?
猫さん
That's the animal you think about when someone's lost, right?
私猫さんじゃない
Right, you're saying ba, so I guess you're a sheep.
羊さんは成功例よ
Success is what? Talking of sheep reminded me of her. What the hell was up with her? It's bad to not know your name.
猫でいいよ
Then I will, I guess.
さゆきさんはいい狼さん
Yep, I'm a good wolf.
悪い狼さんを殺す
Yeah, wait, no. A scary thing to say. What kind of environment had she grown up in? Mako, you shouldn't say kill that easily.
ねダメ
Yep, killing is a scary thing to do.
怖いのよくない
Good girl. Instead, you should say that you're gonna beat him up.
ボコボコ
Yep.
め
What's with the ba
家
anyway?
畜
Cattle. I don't get it.
変
Strange. More like something you don't see every day.
珍しい
Lost children are like kittens.
私マイ
Yep, and most men all fall for
ミ
lost
ャーミ
kittens.
ャーミャーミャー
That's a cat. Alright.
ね
It's fine, don't force yourself. If you're strong enough, you can be whoever you want to be.
難しい
Sorry. Conversation sure went off the rails. Probably shouldn't have brought that up to a child. Would I also become a father to someone someday? What a scary thought. Are you full? Good, I just ran out of bread. Wait, you ate it all.
ふさゆきさんの分
It's fine, I already ate.
ごめんなさい
You're a good girl, huh?
いい子
Yep, it's a good thing. You can do whatever you want, but in the end, everyone forgives you.
ね
But you shouldn't be too good either. God will notice
良
you.
い子すぎてもダメ
Yep, you should be a good girl who's a bit
ちょ
bad.
っぴり悪いいい子
Yeah, this is fun.
ははは
うわ
Huh? Jimmy pops out of nowhere, sneaked in here basically. Slipped on some rock and was all wet. A knife in her hand, hold on. Are you Jimmy that overcame by despair and is wanting to kill me?
うん今回は思考を変えて武士
殺すのよくない
Yeah, it's bad.
何これ というか、なんで春明さんが今いんの？というか、なんでメイコちゃんと？というか、いきなり振り出しがまた戻って。
ね。
Bah, calm down, Chimi.
あれ？そういえば、そっか。
Yeah, the fun times
楽
are
しい
over.
時は終わってたんだった。
She's disinterestedly threw the knife in the Sananaga. That's dangerous.
どうせ今回も無駄になるんだろうし。
It won't,
どうして？
because this is the final loop. Rubber has found in confusion and worry. Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna talk about something
お
complicated.
姉ちゃんと
Yeah,
うーん。
why am I being meant?
女心の理解不足。
Wait, that's just... Huh?
いい。あっちで遊ぶ。
Try not to get swept away. I really wanted to keep watch over her, but this is probably my last chance to meet up with Jimmy. A good act needed some hired hands, after
で
all.、
何故メイコちゃんに春明さんのどす黒い部分を危機として教え込んでたの？
It's just fun. I mean,
引く。あまりに引いて正気に戻った。
anyways, there's something we gotta talk about.
相変わらずの軽やかさだね、春明さん。とりあえず、最後のループって。
Exactly. Things happen, and this is our last one, and with it, we have one final chance. If we mess up, my memories will probably start to reset just like everybody else's besides you. I'll forget you and become a guy who just crashed his bike and ended up in the village.
待ってよ。それって。そんなの、嫌だよ。私、また一人ぼっちになっちゃうじゃん。
It won't happen,
どうして？
because I'll solve everything this time.
引くわ。
What?
かっこつけすぎ。
I'm overdoing acting cool. I didn't mean to.
それはともかく、映画とかドラマの見過ぎじゃないかな。今まで何百回失敗してきた？そんな簡単にうまくいくわけないじゃん。
It's not easy. I've already worked really hard. This is actually the conclusion of all the other loops that failed. Don't you think we have qualification skills to finally end this?
実力？
Yeah. I'll need your help to finish this.
ないよ。私に力とか。ただずっと無意味に巻き戻って、春明さんの邪魔をし続けてただけ。
You holding some kind of grudge? What are you, my ex?
知恵み的にはそのつもりですけど。
Well, I couldn't deny that we were kind of close a bunch of deaths ago. You have what it takes. You have a vengeful defiance against God built up over countless loops. That'll be settled too, of course. Your anger, your resolve will end it. Shoot God with this. I took out some ammo and handed it to her.
いつ？どこで？誰？
You know when the time comes. Soft shotgun, wait until then.
待って待って、全然わからない。説明してよ。春明さん今ここで何してるの？
I can't say that
な
now.
んで？
I can't say that either. After all, she was from Yasumizu. That made her an enemy. In fact, she was the enemy in the case. She didn't have to know that I needed help for my act. Bad if she did. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to fulfill her role in this. Though I know I probably shouldn't be the one to say this, but just this one time, I want you to believe me. That's my final request. Looked into her eyes. She closed her eyes and thought about it for a moment, shook her head, shake something off, and nodded.
わかった。
Thank you.
言っとくけど、相当な無茶ぶりだからね。ノルマクリアの暁には相当な見返りと説明を要求するから。
Now that's a familiar
大
line.
昔すぎて忘れた？
No, you got me there. What would you want for a
素敵な
reward?
男を紹介してくれるとか？
Leave it to me.
へへ。じゃあまあ、最後に何が起きるか。
Can you take Meiko as to Yasumizu too?
最後のお願いじゃないじゃん。
This is an extra to
ま
that.
あいいよ。前の時もメイコ。
Why did you come to
居場所が
Saunonaga?
なくて。って言わせないでよ。
Sorry, no one else will come here, right?
そうだね。リカ子さんのお墓参りくらいかな。それでも今日一日はメイコちゃん。
Okay, then there's no problem.
そのロープって。
A secret.
分かったよ、この悪者。以上。
It
メイ
is.
コちゃん、お姉ちゃんと上。
ね
Our conversation ended there. She soon dragged Mako away, so I said, "See ya," but neither of them even looked at me. Resolve. I had to introduce her to a good guy after all. I had another actor now, and all was left now was physical labor. I continued hauling the rocks. After all, I didn't know how deep this hole was. Nothing would be stupider than running out of time at this point. If there was nothing there, I had to find out as soon as possible. The answer to one of the final two mysteries I had to be right here. If it wasn't exactly what I expected, I could get a weapon to finally get the better. My hands hurt. The dusty cave made my eyes and throat feel unpleasant. Strange, considering that nothing had changed from how it was this morning. I didn't forget to drink and eat. Mako ate the bread, so I had to make do with what I usually did. I wanted to eat veggies and meat. I wanted to rewatch some DVDs, flashes. I had to get new shoes. I worked. My mind was filled with unrelated ideas. In that case, I had to return and get myself some good money. These thoughts raised my total motivation a lot. I'd resolve this. I'd end this. I'd go back. Given myself a really long vacation here, and now I wanted to stretch on my back and get on the slow road back home. I'd go back like I came, alone, so even if I had lost the emptiness by then. In the end, the afternoon, there was a period when it was a bit sunny here, but as the evening came, that faded too. There'd be a rain beat tonight. I didn't want to lose my stuff to a flood, so I put it all in a waterproof bag and went back to work. My fatigue was at its limits. Even so, I continued digging, hustling aside the rocks. It continued until after nightfall, but then there was no more rock. Instead, there was a layer of sand. A round two, huh? I was so close. I was sure of it. For now, I would rest. Normally, this would be the time I'd be getting myself drunk, silly at Chimmy's. Back then, I really didn't expect that I'd be doing works here. The fatigue and muscle pains were just murderous, but I was so fulfilled that I found it kind of pleasant. I slept within the cave. The next day, I woke up with a brutal muscle pain that I couldn't even move. I hadn't been like this since 2 years ago when I had gone skiing for the first time. I had no choice. I spent around 30 minutes stretching, then left the cave. I charged my phone with a disposable battery and checked the time to find it was 6 in the morning. I had about 6 hours left. I'd find it. I began digging through the sand. I dug and dug and dug and examined the sand for anything significant. I didn't throw away the sand. I didn't find anything. But it turned out that I didn't have to worry. After a few hours, I finally found it. So we finally meet. Shinai-sama. No, that name is heresy to you. You should be called this instead. Okami-sama. Deep within the parted sand, I forced the thing inside. It was a skull. A human skull, pure white, without a single scratch on it. So most definitely divine. You'll see the light of day later, but don't worry, it won't be long. Wait as long your family too. I carefully pushed it to the side and then began digging again. I found more bones. There were 3 skulls in total. I didn't know if it was all the sand here or the dryness of the place. But despite being 6 centuries old, they kept in their original shape and glittered like sacred ashes. Wasn't too careful, I would break them. But I felt like I had to beg these samas for strength, the strength to kill them. And I found it. A relic left by the Okami-sama. I was certain of my victory now. I gently returned the remains, soon to be excavated, to the sand and left the cave. As finally at the decisive moment, preparations were complete. I needed to create a good note, the best ending. The first step to stopping the people in the feast. I would call it I'm Not Afraid of Wolves. Staring, Haruki Yashi, co-starred by 2 ladies that join in. I would put up a good fight and kill God.
しんないさんの日ががちふましらみがらすよぐも
そうそう、よくできたね。
お姉ちゃんあ、ふさゆきさんだ
Meiko-chan, come with me.
ダメ。あれは、あいつは。
Chimi Serizawa. She pulled out a gun and pointed it at me. Her eyes were those who had was looking at God. It was even made worse by the fact that she saw God in herself too. That would be over soon. Now is not the time. Look, the mist of Sarananga is about to overflow. That would be the moment that I so desired. Call everyone.
どうするつもりで。
I'll end everything. Now go. Eiko, you come to me. This time, Chimi didn't stop her. She just silently turned
ふさゆ
around.
きさんなに
This mask? Cool, huh? I'm about to do my job as a wolf. Can you help me?
何するの
Act like a good wolf.
いいよ神さんごっこ
When I touch your shoulder, howl like a wolf.
ワンワン
No, be like, ah, woo!
ワオンね
Everyone will be very surprised.
よくわかんない
You will soon. Now let's wait for
わか
everyone.
った
They gathered. Oh, perfect timing. The mist had passed, mixed with the evening sun, in the northern part of Yasumizu settlement, bordering blood water rapids. This scene was the original scene. It was the scene necessary for their death. This is absurd. No way.
神様。
What's that?
わお、すげえ。
They were scared. They were humbled. They knew. The God within them wouldn't allow them to look away. You, what the hell are you? Even so, some tried to resist. This was a very wrong thing to do. So they couldn't even begin to do that. Resisting was a bad thing.
狼来たの
Strangely enough, he ended up not being
連
wrong.
れてきました。
Thank you. Now, hello, people of Yasumizu. I thought long and hard about this, but I decided to go with whatever felt natural. I am Yomotsu Okami. I spoke using modern language. And with the evening mist and the sun behind me, I began talking, wearing the 6th-century-old relic. This is the day of the mist. You would prepare for the feast and go to sleep. Then, starting tomorrow, you would search for us, hiding among you. Try and hang us.
ワオン
I lightly tapped the shoulder. As expected, everyone shook like struck by lightning. Apologies, my wife currently has other business, so two will be the only ones here. While you try to hang us, we would try to one each night to settle the score of the ancient grudge.
恐ろしい。
That is what you have been taught by your ancestors, and this is what you teach your children. Now, I come here because I want you to stop. Please never again hold a feast of the Yomi Purge. Oh, their faces were exactly what I expected. Please don't despair. We never actually wanted a feast of the Yomi Purge, did we?
ワオーン望んでなかった
狼様、あたしゃ名代の山脇とも。
Yes, I know. It's nice to meet you, Tay. She gasped so hard she forgot to breathe for a moment.
宴をするなと仰せじゃが、しかし。
I see why you are curious. Allow me to speak and tell you the truth. A long, long time ago, there lived a god here. It was a mischievous god who fooled people, picked on them, sometimes even devoured them, starting with the head. Thus the mountain was sacred ground. It was a dreadful place where no human dared tread. However, humans grew in number and lived as they always did. Eventually, the mountain was visited by hunters who wanted to find a new home. Soon enough, there was a small village here. Of course, the god didn't like that. It sent wild animals, mountain dogs, and even wolves recently disappeared to torture them. That was when the humans sacrificed 3 of their own. I, my wife, and our little girl accepted it. If everyone could live happily after our sacrifice, we had no reason to hesitate. It was the most painful lie. I couldn't have been true. The Okami must have wanted to live too. They wanted to live along with their family, but I would bear the sin of both of us, using as well as killing a god. Thus all of us together laughed, ate lots of the beast, and drank lots of sake. After the final feast, we entered a small cave next to the river. Did you know that our bones are resting right under where I was standing right now? That mountain. I don't know what it's called these days, but in a small shrine overlooked that. After all, the fearful god sends the Okami-sama from there.
そんな。それは。
Well, that is only natural, I suppose. A whole 600 years ago had passed since then. By the way, this is where we were wearing when we were sacrificed. We were expected to become gods of wolves, and that's why the 3 of us ended up being called Okami-sama. Indeed, we were born 600 years ago, ascended as gods, ended up defending this place for about a century. We became ancient.
ほうほうほうほうほう。
はるちゃん、今は。
It's fine, Chikamoji, Komo, Shida.
おお、僕も知ってるんだな。
Of course, Mochi understands that she has a right to comment. Can you listen to me a bit
聞
more?
いてね
わかった。そっか。めいこちゃんも狼か。そりゃあ、皿長から来るよね。
Yeah, perfect
気
timing.
にせずお続けなさればよかろう。町のお方、いや我を下し橋金に貶としめ、我が意をことごとく奪った。憎んでも憎みきれぬ小わっぱめ。
As Haruchi became more dense with rage, those who couldn't understand shuddered. No need for that, God, please listen. This story upsets us as well. With our divine blessing, the village grew large. However, not everyone was happy. Those who were told to protect our grave were made to live here. There was a barren land, little light, lots of mist, and ground hard to traverse. It's made worse by a battle that happened then, and the blood split into the river. The place was fearsome, and yet they continued to defend our divinity. It was an honor, but eventually there was an emotional distance between the people living on the mountain and those living here. Those who lived under harsh conditions, who prospered began to fight and despise each other. After a long peace, they forgot to respect once. That was when it happened. The people up in the mountain put poison in the waterway here. That made a lot of people here ill. They get back at them for this. The people from the Willing changed themselves into something scary. They covered themselves in Saranaga mud and attacked those living up in the mountain. I could still remember it. A horrible event it was. Women, children, elderly, everyone was stabbed, torn apart, or hanged. In the end, the victor were the people living in the mountain. They ate well. However, they became afraid of people here. They had reason to. The mud-covered attackers were our divine wrath, the anger of the Okami-sama, gods they neglected and their priests treated as cruel, so they decided that they would steal God. After a long plan, many dark conspiracies, they successfully stole our divinity. They took our appearance and even our name. They played with great god Okami to create the name Shinai. Then they created his servants, snake, monkey, crow, and spider, and split the divine powers among them. Though we couldn't explain much, considering our power stolen, they began worshipping Shinai-sama, the false god, atop the mountain, and made everyone know that they were the rulers. They left the people here with the divine remains. We became simple servants. The old god had it even worse. It's called Muja, badger, and was quickly forgotten. After all, the ones who benefited from now were the families worshipping the four servants. And once our divinity and powers were stolen from us, all was left the fear. The fear was so significant that they couldn't wash it away. We became fearsome divinities known as Yomosu Akami. It was a fear and revengeance closely tied to this place. That's why it was always here, as a defeated god alongside with the old god. We had no power. Our power was now being used by Shinai-sama. Shinai-sama from when he was wearing the disguise of the Wolf Guardian. I'll say it again. We had no powers. We haven't harmed a single person in any feast of the Yomi Purge. We simply watched as people were supposed to protect died. It was awful. Do you understand yet? The feast of the Yomi Purge is caused by people, not gods. But that Kirinosuke no Sato-san, your family tried to resist this. Once this is all over, please search beneath your storeroom. You will find records of Nosato's battle that began with your great-grandfather's generation. The Nosatos aren't a fault here? Not completely, of course. Though unlike the Miguru Rama, who'd run away many feasts and caused inhabitants of Yasumizu to kill each other. The Hageuchis, who acted like nothing happened. Nosato can still wash away their sins. That will depend on what you do next. You bear the Nosato name after all. Follow your predecessors and find everything out. A history behind human hands can only be revealed by human hands. I understand.
しかし、狼様、宴をせなんだら、あたしゃ。
I want to say it's not dangerous here. The Miguru Rama people will try to make the feast. No, they will come after you to stop you. But don't worry. My wife is preparing a way through Saranaga.
さらながを。
It will be okay. We are the Yosumitsu Akami. Bachan, wait. Okay, Takumi? I can tell you're not normal. My body's Yasumizu's grown and tell that you're a god. But that doesn't mean I can believe you. I understand, Takumi, Mura-san. You can't be certain that we aren't just saving you to steal you back to Yomi. You are the young leader here, of course, and you would be worried about all that. How much do you I know everything. Of course I did. I knew everyone here. I looked around so many times. They were all just normal good people. They bore their poverty, unfair circumstances. That was why they... Okay, let me finish this. A good word for each of you. Now, Kami-san, it was time for work. I needed your divinity to help me save your adherents. Takumi Mora-san. We know how you buried the victims of the purge 8 years ago without knowing that they were such. We know how you protected the problematic little girl, Chimi. We know the strength and gentleness you portrayed by always returning here, though you caught a disease that almost killed you. Even if others don't share that sentiment, we, the ex-protectors, thank you greatly. Your homeland shall eventually develop and the old will mix with the new. You will surely waver and be distressed then, but if you believe in yourself, then think things through. You will surely find the right path. As long as you are the way you are, God, the mountain will reward you. Please believe in me. Konzo, we know. We know how you survived 2 feasts ago and carried out those painful memories as you protected your granddaughter from the dark hands of the Yomi. We know those memories you were unable to even face her. Don't worry, your granddaughter is many, many, many times stronger than you realize. Right, Haru
お
Mikiyami-san?
じいちゃん、私、父さんと母さんが
春すまん。
いいの？一緒にお墓参りしよう。
I will stop the feast so you can stop hiding in the shadows and join hands with your granddaughter and everyone else here. Please believe in me. Tay, I saw how serious and sincere and devoted you were. Even if great Lord Shinai and his guardians were just an illusion, I saw it all. Your life is a very precious thing.
私は
Please be more tolerant of the young ones. Please pass on the true story. Please believe me.
当然ですわよ。
Kiyonosuke no Sato-san, I already gave some word to you, but if I'm to say any more, you are a capable person. You should be more open-minded. Ignore who is above and below. You know what it means to advance. Holding each other's hands, don't you? You learned that in college. All Yasumizu has is a number of talents. It's all fun to do all those things with you. Don't degrade yourself so much. What do you mean? Nothing. Just please believe me. Understood. Kori Orobi, I don't know any mother who has suffered as much as you. You lost your husband to the feast. They were made public place, and yet you still had to raise your sons well.
やはり
Though you should really be more proud of yourself. And just for your sons. Your sons aren't all that. Of course, you made everyone here happy with your food. Then surely you can make yourself happy as well. It wouldn't be fair if others didn't try to make you happy too. Right, Takumi-san? Yeah, that's right. And Kori-san, please believe me.
ええ、神様。
Yasunaka Orobi. I don't know. Should I believe you? At the very least, it doesn't seem rational. Good. That's how it should be. Think, stay alert until the very end. You will pass the path, Yomi, arrive at a safe place. You can't rest easy all the way through. Though you should relax a bit more after that's done. You're too tense for someone so young. Try skipping a class or two, just for something that you really want to do. If you do that, you might give yourself something to realize how much your mother loves you. So you see that too? When it's all over, please believe me again. Yoshitsugu Orobi. I ain't believing, yes, and that's perfectly fine for you. Or like your brother, you have a strong sense of responsibility and love for your mother. Very anxious about everything. You're a normal boy, really. While your brother fights with their brains, you can fight with their guts. You need to find a place where you can go wild more freely. There's tons of professions that need guts instead of brains. Instead of following your brother, try to chase unwritten paths. Lance, also treasure your mother, though there's a clear bond between you and her. Harsh words weaken it, little by little. That's a fact, believe it. Alright. Mochi.
待ちくたびれたぞ。
Good, and honestly, you don't need to believe. But you're interested in what's gonna happen next,
だ
right?
な。
Good, then I look forward to it, though. The thing you're not interested in might lead to something interesting, or just become interesting. It could be feelings like love.
恋。
Try facing it head on, otherwise if you end up losing something, you won't even notice the pain. You already know everything, don't you?
わかんないけど、わかったよ。
Haru Makishima-san. No,
なん
God.
じゃ狼殿。
Let me start by clearing everyone's misunderstandings. Yasunaga-kun, Mochi, this is a real God.
そりゃあおかしい。僕らの秘密のスーパーハルちゃんなんだから。あ、やべ、言っちゃった。
Yes, that's how it started out. After losing her parents and getting the old cold shoulder from her father, she wanted the adults' attention and created she resurrected this God.
なんじゃ。
It's a bit hard to explain. There's a God inside all of you. After all, you were born and grew up in Fujiyoshi. This is why you can't rebel against us. The guilt from killing us long ago, Missy, they had been inherited by you, a memory of God. You also have even older memories, fearing the dark mountain and praying for peace. Thus, when Haru-chan tried to create a false mask, God could resurrect from these memories in a perfect stable. That's why Haru-chan is both herself and God. Right, Haru-chan?
それを暴いてどうするの？人から見れば私はただ狂ってるだけよ。
そして貴様も狂っておられよう。幾千度落ちてここにいたり。
No, Haru-chan, and no God. Haru-chan isn't insane. I also know how scary God can be, but you can have a strong heart that lets make even that your own. Even if God stops appearing, your strength will never fade. I'm certain that only you can save Yasumizu, so become a villain. Be an evil that frees from everyone's idea of what's right. Fly free as you wish. That strength will surely become a driving force rising up everyone living in this land. We know. I want to see that.
できるかな。
Yes, I saw it with my clairvoyancy.
勝手なことを言うな。千里眼は蛇に奪われた。この娘の体は我のものじゃ。出てこなくなる。甘く見なさるな。山は読み、読みは闇じゃ。この地に人が絶えぬ限り、人から恐れが消えぬ限り、我は滅びぬ。
Yes, I know.
は？
Who said anything about making you fade? If you disappear, who will be the local god when we're gone? Well, I don't think you'll be able to do whatever you want, though. The outside world is full of vicious gods, concepts, and all of that. But even so, this is your garden, and everyone here is your family. You don't have to live as a lonely, forgotten god anymore, do you? Please resonate yourself.
待たれよ。その。
Everyone here. Today, we Okami will no longer be Yasumitsu's and Fujiyoshi's gods. We return our great Lord Shinai's and the Guardian's divinity back to the newly resurrected ancient god. Please build her a shrine and worship her. Please fear and revere her divinity. She once lost her divinity to the survived being trampled over by a fabricated god, then joined hands with the sacrifices and blew back into divinity. Please speak her name and make sure it is passed down. Oh, and do you And do mention the Okami, the Guardians, and Shinai every now and then. It's important to know that your history and be bad if people forgot. I'm counting on you, everyone. They nodded. Now you won't have to be fixated on your fragile human bodies. Right, God?
我は
Please don't cry, Haru-chan. We'll be uncomfortable.
すまぬな
Also, be kind to the humans.
約束する本当にありがとう我は嬉しいぞ
ああ、はるちゃんぐっしゃぐしゃだ。ほら、ハンカチとかないけど、この
もっちってばなんか己だけは最後まで我を恐れまいな。
うん。はるちゃんははるちゃんだ。
社ができるまで我も守ってくれるか。
はるちゃんのついでにね。やっすん、そういうことでいい？
Yeah. She's like a little sister to me. Take care of
じっ
her.
ちゃん、
その格好なんとかせ。
チェ。
これからのもっち次第。
オッケー。
あとここまでありがとう。
そういうことだから。
Good. Goodbye, Haru-chan. Another thing. Once this is over, take whatever you can within 10 minutes. Go to Sanonaga. You'll find my wife there. Follow her direction and escape this place. Everyone compiled. Also, old man who cried wolf, you stay in the plaza. Now. Sorry for keeping you waiting. Chimi Sarazawa,
いやよ
your life was one of the torments at the hands of the malicious lowlives. Wield the might of
嫌だ
God.
って言ってるでし
You feared and suffered while clashing with others. That's why you began to
ょ。
see
あなたは
us.
神様じゃ
Because of this, you gained the right to harm
神
God.
様は殺せない。
Normally, yes, but it is unlikable. Give it a name and get rid of the ancestors. Create a hero that qualifies the cause. Basically, make everyone agree. And you can kill a god. And myself give you the right. Come to me, my daughter.
あなたをやりたくなんかない。
I called Mako-chan over and hugged her tightly. Now, aim. I saw Shana trying out of herself. She couldn't resist at all. Well done on everything you did so far. At this moment, I felt like I was speaking for someone other than me. This is my last wish. Shoot. The barrels blew off. My body still holding Mako soaked into the air. Not like I could actually die though.
すっごい
Seriously, what's going on? In that head of yours, it'd be bad if they hurt us. Shh.
しー
Good.
ちょっと悪い
Wow, you learned fast. Basically, I just bungee jumped backwards. The rope couldn't be too long because it could end up hitting the cliff, so it was off about 10 meters. I prepared the rope during the little time. I only had one shot at this, and it actually worked. With this, God was dead. And we will continue the rest of this next time.